Welcome to the next tutorial for Certified Ethical Hacking course, and in this tutorial we will be taking a look at web browsers and its their own add-ons and tools. So there is a specific tool which could help us a lot in getting a lot of CSS, HTML and JavaScript information. So as of now, most people like to use Google Chrome, but frankly speaking, if you go ahead and check any kind of professional hacker, they won't go ahead and use Google Chrome. The reason for that is because Google keeps a lot of data with it. It checks what have you searched, what information do you keep with them, and whatever you search, once you go ahead and log in, everything is saved inside your own database. For example, let's say if you have created an account like let's say 10 years back, and after that you have used multiple computers, or no matter how many different types of computers, different Android devices or iOS devices, it does not matter. From wherever you log in, whatever you log in, what you browse, all those stuff are still saved even after 10 years if you go ahead and take a look at that. That's why professional hackers don't actually go ahead and use Google Chrome for their daily use, because they want something that is like a privacy. So for that, normally people go ahead and use let's say Firefox or Iceweasel and similar stuff. Iceweasel is quite cool, which comes built in with Cal Linux, and extreme hackers tend to use Tor browsers. But if you want to use Tor browsers with a good amount of let's say speed, then you would need an extremely high bandwidth. So normally people don't tend to use Tor browsers for each and every other thing unless it's like extremely, let's say, extremely private. So normally people tend to use Mozilla Firefox or the Iceweasel. So as of now, I would be downloading Iceweasel, the Mozilla, for that purpose. So I'll just go over here and I'll just try to install the Firefox version. Let me check if I have Firefox already installed. Okay, I don't think, yeah, perfect. I don't think there is anything installed, so I'll just go over here on the official website. Make sure you install it only from the official website and not from like any other page. The reason being that you don't know what other source of code is included in that specific exe version which you're trying to install. So it's better that you download it from the original website only. So let's wait while this gets installed. Okay, it's getting loaded, as you can see over here. Okay, perfect. So do 30. I'll just go and open it. Okay, so let's go and run this. So by the time it gets installed, let's take a look at the Tor browser and what it does exactly. So I won't be actually installing the Tor browser, and there's one more operating system which focuses more on privacy. So it's actually a virtual operating system, so you would need to probably install the VMware or the VirtualBox or whatever machine that you would use, virtual machine. And let's see, okay, it's still downloading. Okay, so this is how the Tor browser looks like. So this is for everything like Windows, Mac or Linux. It doesn't matter where you're trying to. You can even run it from a flash drive, as you can see, because it's a pre-configured web browser. So whatever you do on this browser, unlike Chrome, nothing gets saved on your RAM or your hard disk. Everything gets deleted as soon as you close the browser. In fact, once you go and try to run this, you can see that you can even bounce your IP addresses of multiple locations. Like from, it doesn't matter whether it's from like Sydney or let's say Denmark or South America or wherever it is. You can just bounce it off anywhere from 2-3 locations, and it has a specific level of security set in within itself. That means let's say for example, if you want to use the Tor browser, but you want extreme security. That means you want to make sure that no one injects any kind of malicious code into your browser through JavaScript or any other flash file. So for that, you need to make sure that you use the extreme high security option in Tor browser. Let me just see if I could get an image for that instead of installing high security Tor browser. And let me just show it to you how it looks like. Okay, perfect, here it is. So this is how it looks like. I'll just go ahead and try to open this image. Okay, this is how the image looks like. So this is high level of security. That means everything does not work except just browsing on the internet and doing anything you want. This means all Java performance optimizations have been disabled, and some scripts may however run slower. But when you go and try to access a lot of things, most of the things won't work over here in medium and high security. And when you try to run high, it's like 80% of the things won't work until unless you add some kind of add-ons and do a lot of other things. So by default, it's like it comes with low, that is JavaScript is disabled by default on all non-HTTPS website. Means on all of the websites which are not secured, JavaScript is disabled by default. You can however enable it and do a lot of things, but this is how the Tor browser looks like. Okay, so now as I was telling you, there is another operating system known as Unix, which you can go ahead and install on your system by installing the virtual machine. So once you go ahead and install this, it will be running from inside the virtual machine, and it will go through a lot of proxies and weird network connections. As you can see, this is your Unix workstation, this is your gateway, and it does not take your computer's gateway as a gateway. The reason for that is because so that it does not actually go ahead and let me check. I think it's installed. Perfect. So yep, just import it. Finished. Not now. Okay, fine. I'll just go down and close this and open a new private tab. Okay, perfect. So so as I was telling you that it does not take your computer's IP address as its gateway, but it has its own IP address. That means Unix workstation connects to the Unix gateway. Unix gateway gets connected to a lot of proxies over here from around the world, and then it's get connected to your computer system, and then IP address is routed to the internet. That means no matter, sorry, it does not get connected to your system. Obviously it gets through a lot of different places, and then it goes through over there. So the thing over here is that no matter what anyone tries to do, it's extremely hard to catch anyone when they're actually going to try and use the Unix gateway. But since we are ethical hackers, we're not here to do any kind of malicious stuff. The reason for that is because we are here to catch people who are trying to use malicious stuff. So if you're in an IT system, let's say for example in a workplace, trying to check the security of any company, as soon as you get to see that there is a person who has like extremely nothing, he's not actually accessing anything through the default browser, because each and every other person tries to access some or the other thing through a default browser. But when you see someone accessing nothing, that means someone is like extremely totally off the charts in hiding everything. Then you need to be doubtful, and you need to check that specific person's information so that you know whether that person is actually using any other thing. For example, if the guy uses a Tor browser, then he will have nothing like left on the system, so the like cookies or any other stuff, DNS hijacking stuff and all those stuff. So that is the reason why you need to check through all the systems for that. And as you can see, Unix totally runs on Tor, and all of the gateways also bypass through Tor. So I think that would be it for the security of the browsers. Now the reason why I installed Firefox was because I wanted to show you something that is known as Firework. But as of now, I'll just go ahead and show you how to download that. It is just a simple add-on. You can go ahead to the add-ons part and download that. But as of now, I'll just keep it as it is, and I'll be showing that in the next tutorial.